Welcome back to the Magical Mothering Method. I'm Stephanie Matthews, and in week 20, it's all about marketing with the throat chakra, communicating clearly and effectively to those you serve and to about your specific abilities. It's really vital that as you're starting to market yourself and put yourself out there in these very real ways, that you learn how to incorporate and be in integrity fully with your higher self. Last week, we did a powerful reprogramming all about literally having our higher self step in and help us communicate clearly and effectively. We're going to magnify that just a little bit and really use all the resources from the past 3 weeks to get a clear idea of how it is that we will be marketing ourselves. So, communication. Communication is by far the most important part of marketing. If you do not communicate clearly what it is that you do, who it is that you work with, how you can help them, and what problem you solve, there's no way to actually communicate so that others will be able to understand what it is that you're offering. So I want you to really go through and answer those specific questions. And if you haven't gotten the weekly workbook for week number 20, you can always get your donation in at magicalmothering.com/MMM-welcome. And with a monthly donation, you get the workbook, you get a private online community, you get an invitation to the monthly group healing sessions, and you also work towards getting a Magical Mothering Method certification at the end of the 13 months. So grab your workbook and really start digesting and discovering the answer to these questions. If you're using this program and you're not creating your own business, you can still utilize these questions just for your own personal understanding. Who are you meant to be connected with in this world? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you have a heart for? What experiences have you lived through that you know others really struggle with and that affect their lives on a day-to-day basis? When you start communicating clearly and effectively how you are actually moving and working through your own personal journey, it allows for others to connect with you. There's a very real and tangible aspect to being vulnerable. And in marketing, vulnerability is actually key. Now, a lot of times I've been in so many courses, and I've taken marketing courses, and I've taken business courses, and there is this aspect of being really salesy, right? And that is what we want to avoid. There is no reason that you ever have to sell yourself when you are communicating from a higher self perspective. So I want to integrate the past 3 weeks. In week 1 of the throat chakra, we really discovered kind of what problem aspects there are, right? And we allowed for ourselves to open up our throat chakra with ancient or primitive uses of the voice, singing. When I actually first started out my Facebook Lives, I used to sing, "Good morning, good morning, hello, how are you?" And I didn't even realize that I was actually doing a healing on my throat chakra by literally singing through my message. And this was a very powerful thing that I did absolutely intuitively. And so sometimes just having a sing-song in your voice can allow for your throat to feel more open and connected, and allow for others to feel more connected to you as well. There's something very primitive and primal about singing. In the next week, in the healing that we did for the throat chakra, It was really about connecting to the needs of our inner child and the wisdom of our higher self. When you're doing any marketing, I want you to really understand very clearly, so that your inner child is not doing your marketing for you. Make sure that your needs are met. Make sure that you do not ever feel small and little and scared when you're about to do marketing. Fulfill the needs of those inner child by going within, addressing those fears, really looking at and possibly even using the heart chakra of the workbook from the heart chakra, and really addressing those fears and seeing what ultimately the real fear is. And when you go back through and see what the real fear is, you'll be able to tell that little one, don't worry. Even if that were to happen, even if our worst fear was to happen, it's okay. This message is meant to be shared. And you might need to say that as your higher self, because maybe right now that still really does feel scary. And that's okay. So allowing for your inner child, for their needs to be met before ever doing any marketing, making a flyer, a business card, a video, a event. Anytime you're making any sort of marketing materials, make sure that your inner child's needs are met, okay? Then, after having all of your inner child's needs met, then step into your higher self. Ask your higher self these questions. Who am I here to serve? What aspects or problems am I solving for this group of people? What would really create a massive change in perspective if I was to help them solve this problem? So not only do I want you to identify the problem that you solve, but I also want you to see the life-changing transformation that would happen to these individuals if you solve that problem. And then, whenever you are communicating, writing a Facebook post, reaching out to your potential market, I want you to understand very clearly that you need to address the problem that you're solving. You need to address what changes will happen, and then you can move forward and really create very clear communications about what it is that you're addressing in that moment, or with that event, or with that product, or with your healing, or with your life coaching, or with your art. Does that make sense? Because if you're able to communicate from a space of your higher self, from a higher perspective, you know what you're able to do. You know how your things serve others, but you might not be actually clearly communicating that to them in a way that they understand. So definitely utilizing the reprogramming aspect each and every time you make marketing material. Making sure that your inner child's needs are met so that you can step in and have that very clearly, your higher self speaking through you. Maybe you have a very strong feeling of the suffering that's going on in the world right now. I'm going to use this as an example of how to do that reprogramming in your marketing. Maybe you have a very strong sense of the suffering going on in the world right now. And you want to communicate clearly that you have a need to help support and share resources to help those who are suffering. Then you can step into your higher self and give a very clear message about how maybe you'll go about doing that, about the symptoms and causes of these things. You'll be able to go through and very clearly and effectively go through and have your higher self speak through you exactly to those individuals who are ready to hear you. And I never want you to get discouraged or feel like you're failing, because failing is simply practice. There is no such thing as failure. There's only such thing as practicing. And the more you practice, the better you get. the more you do, the more you step into action. If you're stepping into action and you're putting yourself out there and you continue to try and tirelessly continue to evolve, and if your message isn't working, you continue to implement these strategies and keep working at it, know that you will succeed. There's no such thing as failure if you continue to stay in action. There's only practice, and there's only trials and errors and experiential learning. So I really want to encourage you to speak out using your actual voice. Make a video, record something, and really use this marketing tool. Speak to somebody very specifically in your mind's eye that is in the target group of who you know you are meant to serve, or speak to those who have had similar experiences to you, and start sharing your experience and start letting them know that there is a way that you can help serve them. And I'm really excited to hear these. Please tag me in these posts that you're posting, or tag me in the Facebook group or the online community and let me know that you're sharing these. And I'm so excited for you to start physically using your voice to start sharing your message. This is an exciting time in the program, and I am here for you. If you need a one-on-one to really help create and write this kind of script, or to get connected with your higher self, or to create a marketing plan, I do have complete Magical Mothering Business Strategy sessions. The Magical Mothering Business Strategy sessions are really that. The Magical Mother is going to come in and help integrate your higher self into full integrity so that you can honestly share and create a drastic shift in your business, so that you can create a marketing plan and a marketing solution that actually gives you the results that you want. So if you need a one-on-one session, please visit magicalmothering.com to book that. If you need a session to go through, if some things came up in this from your throat chakra that you need support or help moving through, please know that I'm here to have a session with, or you can always bring those topics up in the monthly healing session. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of your healing journey, and I'll see you soon.